Welcome to the first episode of The Homeless in Our City. Homelessness has reached alarming levels nationwide, across the region, and right here in Chesapeake. I spoke with Mary Riley with Chesapeake Human Services, who explained who the homeless are and how someone may become homeless.
Well, our homeless population has grown over the years. We started probably knowing about 50 to 100 people that we counted in our point in time count in January. But now we know that we're well over 300, 400 people who are experiencing homelessness, living in the street, living in encampments, or hopping from hotel to a bedroom somewhere, but do not have a permanent place to live or to stay.
Mary, who are the homeless in our city?
Folks that are experiencing homelessness are those that are living right next door to you and me. Folks that we would never know that they're homeless a lot of times. People that are suffering from mental illness, have some kind of long-lasting disease, or just have spent their last dime, just haven't been able to make it. Some, are working. Some live in their cars and drive to work every day, come here for a shower, do their laundry, but then go to work, but just can't afford to live in an apartment or any kind of stable housing.
So a lot of these folks are literally living on the streets.
Yes, many of them are living on the streets. Right now we have CAST, which is the Chesapeake Area Shelter Team, and they're able to house or shelter 50 people at night. So we know that 50 people are at least accessing that kind of shelter in the evening, but there are many more who can't go to CAST or won't go to CAST for a number of reasons. We have outreach workers that go out and visit with them, bring them supplies, try and link them to services.
Tell me about the We Care Resource Center in regard to, it's a day center, correct?
It is a day center that's designed to be a resource center, so folks can come here and do their laundry or get a shower, have a meal, and get resources. We also have computers that they can use to apply for jobs or apply for benefits or whatever their need might be. A lot of times families are coming to the resource center. We want to make sure that they're in school or they have access to childcare or the needed services that they need as a family. So we run the gamut. You name it, we try and find that resource for them.
And it's also a place to get warm.
Yes, yes. If you can imagine, like today is a nice day, the sun's shining, it's 40, 50 degrees. But a couple of weeks ago we had that 40 degree, 30 degree snap. We were out here loading the bus in the cold. I can't imagine sleeping out in that cold weather. With the rain, the pouring down rain over Thanksgiving, I just can't imagine it. And to go out and see that folks are out sleeping in this and trying their best to stay warm so that they don't freeze to death.
What is the homeless point in time count?
The point in time count is done every January. It's a requirement by HUD. And HUD, in order to provide funding to the area, our region, you must do the point in time count. So you go out in January, you count the number of homeless folks or those that are experiencing homelessness that you find on the street, whether they're living in their cars or actually in an encampment or on the street. You go out and you count them and see just what their needs are, how many we have. The problem with the point in time count is that it's limited. We don't get everyone.
So tell me about CAST and how does it help the homeless?
CAST is a wonderful, wonderful service that we have. It's the Chesapeake Area Shelter Team. It's operated by our churches. It's truly volunteer. So they come at night here to the resource center, pick up folks, bring them to whatever the designated church is, provide them dinner, overnight sleeping, sheltering. In some cases they can take a shower there, and then provide them breakfast in the morning and then bring them back to the resource center. So without CAST, all those folks would be sleeping on the street. And thank goodness we have CAST, we have the church support to be able to provide that kind of sheltering. And the churches are also providing meals for us here at the Resource Center 2 or 3 days a week, along with other necessities that they see that are needed by those that are accessing the center. We are truly blessed in Chesapeake to have the churches that we do.
What are some of the biggest needs for the Resource Center?
Space. And hopefully in the spring we will be getting into a new space not too far from here. The city has been kind enough to find us a space to be able to provide more services or provide additional services for additional folks. Right now our capacity is 18 to 20. And you know, we exceed that almost every single day.
That be an overnight shelter or
Yes.
a day center?
It will be a combination day center, overnight shelter. The churches still plan on providing CAST during the winter months. It's my dream that we go year round with the sheltering. I think we can get there. It's just a matter of engaging more volunteers.
You know, it's cold and you think of the elements, but the summertime can also
Yes.
be pretty rough for someone who is homeless.
Exactly. They say, the research says that more people die on the streets during the summer than they do in the winter. Because sometimes during the winter they can find places to go or people are making sure that they're warm. But in the summer you don't think about it. And when we have those extreme heats, if people have heart conditions or even, you know, are just frail or fragile, they're going to die from the heat because it is so extremely hot. I mean, you and I know when we go out in the heat and we say, oh golly, whew, it's hot. And then we go into air conditioning. But they don't have that.
They don't have that opportunity.
But they do have the Resource Center to be able to come to and get cool. And you know, our libraries and our community centers are also wonderful in letting people come in there to cool off. But at night, even though the sun has gone down, it's still extremely warm. And it's hot for people.
How did it get to this point, having the number of homeless that not only our city has, but other cities?
I think it's a lot of different issues, but one is that we don't have enough affordable housing across the region, and every city's been saying that. And it's nationwide. It's not just here in Virginia or here in Chesapeake, it's nationwide. The cost of living has gone up. You know, how many people can afford an $1,800 or $1,900 apartment a month? Most people, a lot of people are living on Social Security or SSI, or they're working, making minimum wage, and you know, it's hard to live on that. It's hard to find any place. There aren't many single rooms that are available, and if they are living on Social Security, when it's $800 or $900 a month and the rent is $500 or $600, it doesn't leave them much money for utilities or food or, you know, any of the extras.
Or emergencies.
Emergencies, right, exactly. So I think we talk about this all the time. If we could figure out the housing, and housing isn't just putting someone in a room or an apartment. You have to support them for a while. And I don't mean monetarily, but I mean with services. You have to wrap your arms around them, make sure that they know how to budget, make sure they know how to access services, even to get online to engage Dominion Power. They just need that buddy or that mentor or somebody to walk with them for a while until they feel that they have the skills that, you know, they're able to live on their own. Many of them do not. When you think many of them have been homeless all their lives, or a great portion of their lives, or didn't grow up with parents or anyone teaching them the daily living skills, and then all of a sudden to have to learn them on their own. So there's a great need for those wraparound services as well.
Thank you for joining me on the first episode of the special series on the homeless in our city. As we have learned, people can become homeless for many reasons, including loss of a job or lowered wages, a health crisis, increased rent, or a family emergency. If you would like to get involved, please contact the Chesapeake Customer Contact Center at 757-382-2489.